Recording in progress. All right. Hi, Madison.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Pretty good.
Thank you for doing this interview. So let's start out. Why don't you just tell us about yourself?
So, my name's Madison, and I obviously am on here because I have POTS. But other than that, I am a pre-K teacher, and I'm also starting grad school in August for clinical mental health counseling.
Awesome. That's exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. So that starts in the fall, you said, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So tell me about when you first started having symptoms, because we had talked a little bit before and you said that they started pretty early on for you.
Yes, so I started having symptoms when I was 14,
Okay.
and my first symptom was passing out. So I passed out twice, and then after that, we went to the hospital to try to figure everything out. They found nothing, and then my symptoms just progressed from there, and it continued with like pre-syncope, dizziness, lightheadedness, um, fast heart rate, slow heart rate, low and high blood pressure.
Okay. And it wasn't until you were 18 till they actually gave you a diagnosis. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So how did that process go for you? You went in and they were like, okay, you have POTS or no?
So it was a very long process with many doctors. I started out in pediatric cardiology and I saw 3 or 4 doctors, and most of them said, it's probably your anxiety or it's hormones. You just started your period a couple years ago. Could have been that. Um, and then my last pediatric cardiologist said that he only sees this condition every 3 to 4 years, and that I would have to wait until I go into adult cardiology to be diagnosed. So when I turned, it was either 17 or 18, because I was a freshman in college and I was 17. So I believe I was 17 when I first went to the adult cardiologist, and you put me on a heart monitor and the results were normal. And then he took my orthostatic blood pressure and realized that was when I had POTS.
Okay. So what was the getting the diagnosis like for you?
It was long. That's basically the only way I can describe it. I wouldn't even say stressful or well, it was stressful in the beginning when I was passing out, definitely, but I stopped passing out after then. I would say long because after 4 years, we had an idea of what was going on. Like, okay, it seems like it's maybe a heart issue, a blood pressure issue. I believe we might have known or heard about POTS. We had been looking up other conditions, so we already knew something was going on. And so I had those 4 years to kind of accept it, I guess. So when I did get the diagnosis or in that process, it was just more so long and annoying in that sense. Like, why
Yeah,
is this
why did
taking
it have to take so long?
Mhm.
Right, right. Okay. So after that, did they try different medications with you, or what was that process or that journey like?
So with POTS, people typically will be put on a beta blocker.
Okay.
And with me, after they reviewed my POTS, they noticed that I have a bunch of tendencies throughout the day to either be super high or super low. So a beta blocker would just kind of send me over the edge of one of those. So the beta blockers I've never tried because we just think it would harm more than help for my POTS specifically. For others, it's great for them.
Right.
The only medication that they were able to put me on is amphetamine. I believe that's how you say it. It's
Yeah.
basically Adderall, and it's to help with my chronic fatigue because of POTS. And it's, yeah, basically the chronic fatigue to help me get up and just live my day, whether that be go to work or some days it's just getting up, taking a shower, and
Yeah, exactly.
clothes.
Absolutely. I think we all can relate to that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you feel like the medicine is helping you a lot. And how long have you been on it?
I've been on that medicine ever since I was diagnosed at 14, and I'm 22
Oh,
now.
oh, okay.
But I will say with every POTS person, it's So different. So a lot of POTS people that are on this medication, they can't be on it. They cannot take it. They should not be on it. There are a lot of POTS people that shouldn't even try it. But just with my case, it happened to help
Right,
so
right.
much.
Okay. So why shouldn't they be on it? Just because it can be dangerous or it's a
Mhm.
stimulant? It's
Yeah, so it's a stimulant, so it can raise your heart rate and I believe
right.
blood pressure a little bit. But
Yeah.
with me, we've seen that it hasn't, put me over that edge in a sense as like a beta blocker would.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Cool. Interesting. Very
Right.
interesting. So what's the hardest thing about having POTS?
For me
Yeah.
specifically, it has to be the pre-syncope, which is, if anyone's watching and you don't know what that is, it is where when you stand up, you go dizzy, your hearing goes out, your vision goes out, and it lasts for maybe 5 to 10 to 15-ish seconds. On a good day, it could maybe not happen or only happen a couple times, but on a bad day, it'll reach up to 25 times a day. And the
Wow.
reason why that's the hardest to deal with is because as a pre-K teacher, when I'm alone with my class and I have those instances where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to sit down so it doesn't progress into full-on syncope where I pass out. That's where it's hardest to deal with because I never want to put my students at risk, whether it be because they're alone with a passed out teacher or it be putting their mental health at risk. Like, could you imagine being a 4 or 5-year-old and seeing your teacher just like on the ground, not conscious, and you're alone?
Right.
So, because of that, now that I'm a pre K teacher, that's definitely the hardest to deal with. Um, but as I continue to say, every person that has POTS is different. And I know a lot of people with POTS, the hardest thing to deal with is them passing out all the time.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
scary for you and everyone around you involved.
Right. Absolutely. And you never know when it's going to happen. And it's hard to be prepared for sure. I understand that. I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Okay.
But so do you notice any difference between the days that you have one, what is it, pre-syncope?
Mhm.
All right. Okay. One compared to 25. Is there anything different about those days that
Mhm.
say either help you or hurt you?
Mhm. So I have to take a lot of preventative measures in a sense. So I always carry medications such as the one I'm on, and then I carry a bunch of salt tablets and I carry electrolytes and emergency snacks, basically anything and everything. So on the days where it has been really bad, it's 25 times a day, it's constant. Those days I've noticed I'm typically less hydrated. I may have forgot to drink or eat all the electrolytes I needed. I haven't eaten enough. I don't have enough salt in me. And so I've noticed on those days that's when it happens the most. So I
Uh,
have to be like very proactive with staying up to date on everything I'm doing. And if I don't, it's almost like, oh, we missed a step.
yeah. And speaking of your self-care, what does that look like for you in terms of other than your the stuff, your emergency kit that you carry, what other stuff do you do to self-care?
um, that's a hard one because I feel like with POTS, the only thing that has really helped is the emergency stuff that
Mhm.
I keep with me. Aside from that, the only other thing really would have to be sleep. I know for me, I need a minimum of 4 hours a night. If I don't get 4 hours, I'm not getting out of bed the next day. And if I get 4 hours,
4 hours is pretty small. That's
yeah.
a
Oh,
lot.
yeah. Um, and it's completely different for everyone. Like my friend, they believe that he has POTS and he needs a minimum of 11 hours of sleep every night.
Right,
He
right,
just started on his diagnosis journey and I've been in it for so long. Maybe that's why, but everyone's POTS is different. So
right,
sleep is definitely one. And then just water with electrolytes.
right, right. Okay, cool. That's awesome. So what have you learned about yourself during your journey with POTS and having a chronic illness, and how has it affected you emotionally, spiritually, all that?
Um, I'll go ahead and answer how has it affected me emotionally. I would say there's two parts to that. Part one is it really hasn't, in the sense of I kind of see my condition as, this is what it is, and it's awful, but this is what it is, and I'm going to find my new normal and my new happiness within that, because I have to,
There you go, girl.
Yeah. So there's that one. And then what were the other two questions?
I was just saying, like, how has it affected your journey of growing up? What about your family? Talk to me about that.
Let's see. I would say growing up, it affected me a little bit. It started in high school. So it did start affecting me in high school a little bit, in the sense of it made it a lot harder to go to school. It made it a lot harder to stay at school. Now let's fast forward to this day and age.
Yeah.
I've realized that it's a lot harder to make friends, stay in relationships, stuff like that, because typically I'm friends or dating someone that is not chronically ill or has never had an experience with that, just
Right.
because that's how it's happened in the past. I don't know why. And so I then have to go through the process of explaining everything to them, and that's perfectly fine. That's great, because I do it all the time. But it comes down to even the little things you don't notice that we say and do throughout the day that would affect me differently because I have POTS. And with my family, I'm very lucky. Oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. My family is so open-minded about conditions. Like when all of this started, they never questioned me, or they never doubted me.
Right.
They saw all of this. They knew they never thought I was exaggerating, nothing. So I'm
You had a great
super
support
lucky.
system.
Yeah. So, I mean, it extends from outside of my nuclear family that lives in my home, and grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins have never had anyone come to me with an issue about it.
Wow.
Which,
Great.
obviously, like I say, it's completely different for everyone. I'm just so privileged and lucky in that aspect.
Right. Absolutely. For sure. Definitely. So what would you want other spoonies to know about your chronic illness and about POTS and about just being a spoonie?
The one thing I guess I would want them to know is, I'm trying to find how to phrase it the best, because I know it can sometimes come off in ways I don't mean it to. This is the cards we have been dealt, and it's awful and it sucks. But if I allow myself to sit in my bed back there every day and just be really upset about it and get down on myself, then I'm only hurting myself more. And especially with a bunch of conditions, if your mind's hurting, your body does. I know, like with EDS specifically, that's a big one.
Right.
And that's in correlation with POTS too. So I can't let myself get bogged down with, oh my gosh, I couldn't do this today, or this hurts, or this was insane. I have to find my new happiness and my new positivity within my new normal, because we can never go back to what we were like or what we could do before all of this happened. And that's awful, and that really sucks, but we have to find that new normal and our new happiness within that new normal, and how to cope and deal, and accessibility. I don't know how to say that word, but make things more accessible for us.
Right.
When we're in this, and especially with conditions like POTS, EDS, etc., there are times where it's really bad, and then it's really, really good, and you barely have it. Then it's really bad again. And that's the new normal I'm talking about. Finding, okay, we're back up. It sucks again, but we've been here before. We know what to do. We know it's going to make us happy. We know it's going to help us the best mentally and physically. So that's what we're going to do. And then we may go back down, maybe a couple months, maybe a couple years later. Then we adjust to that new normal and then do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. Advice. That's great. Yeah. I mean, I think it's really important to be positive in every aspect. And, it's sometimes it's the hardest thing to do is to
Mhm.
be positive, you know?
Yes.
Sometimes it's even harder than dealing with the pain,
Mhm. Mhm.
but we have to do it,
Mhm.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
or fortunately.
Yeah, I mean, you could look at it both ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, you're a rock star. Thank you so much for interviewing with me. And I'm sure everybody's going to love this. It's going to be great.
No, thank you for having me. I'm so excited for this book.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh,
We had a good meeting this morning. I'll cut this part out, but but yeah, the meeting went great. They want everything done by December. And then it's coming out in like early spring. So
oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome.
I'm really, really excited.
I'm
So
definitely gonna be buying one.
yay.
You'll see my name there. Oh yeah.
Well, no, if you're in the book, you get one for free. So it's okay.
Well, thank
But
you.
thank you for the support.
Definitely, we'll be posting about it lots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool girl. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And
Keep me
just
posted about everything.
yes, I will. And just a side note, I see your dog in the back.
Yeah. Ah, hi, kitty.
There's
What's your cat's name?
her name is Boogie because like a booger because she has awful allergies, gets
Oh
apple
no.
boogers, and now she's 5 and still has them. So that's his name.
Boogie.
What's his
That's
name?
cute. His name is Riddick, and then that's Parker. Can you see Parker?
Oh, I didn't even see him. Yes.
Yeah, that's Parker. And they
Oh,
sleep all day.
another tip to my spoonies I just thought of. Get an
Okay,
animal. Get an animal.
get an animal.
An animal. When I was diagnosed with POTS in high school, I was also going through like some bullying issues and the normal
Okay,
awful girl high school stuff.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then I started getting sick. I said I got diagnosed earlier. Sorry, I was not diagnosed in high school. I started getting sick and started on my process. And then that's when I got Boogie. And like in high school, she helped so much because and it was really hard to take care of myself.
Right,
But I would have to take care of her, take care of my
right,
animal. So when I'm forced to take care of something else because I'm gonna die if I don't,
right,
then in return, I'm forced to take care of myself. So that's
right.
I
It
just
kind
thought
of
of.
teaches you. It teaches
Yes.
you to self-care for
Mhm.
sure.
And the cat's a great one because I don't have to take it outside and walk it like a
Maintenance.
dog.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
lot easier with the pots.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, these guys have a fenced-in backyard, so all I do is open the door. So
Perfect.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. It's awesome.
So side note.
Yeah. But let's keep in touch and just talk and hang and chill, and whenever you want to just talk, just call me or text me.
Yeah,
Tell me,
definitely.
how did grandma's thing go? She started walking?
Yeah, so she's doing better. She was actually discharged yesterday. She did get up and walk 2 times while she was in the hospital for that week. But one time she went and walked like the whole hallway and she did really good. She was with the PT, did really well. Well, not really well, but for
Yeah,
not getting up in a week and having awful issues
right.
walking, that was good.
That's a big deal.
So she just got discharged yesterday and was immediately put into an inpatient rehab for 7 to 10 days to work on her legs because
Okay, so like physical therapy and stuff
yeah,
like that. Okay,
and that is just
good.
the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. I feel relieved for you.
Yeah, thank you. I do too.
Good. All right. Thanks, Rockstar. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Bye.